Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So you are here today for another episode of Max's Gut Choice. And in true Manfa fashion, I have forgotten what episode we are on. So bear with me 1 second. And I will let you know. It's down in the title of the video anyway, but let's just see. This is episode 25, guys. OMG. Right, so Max's Gut Choice. For those of you that have recently joined, and I have had a few very recent subscribers, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining. Max's Gut Choice came about because last year in July, a 2-year-long segment that I had been doing, Tile of the Week Thursday, ended. And I realised that I didn't have anything to fill my Thursdays with. So I had to think of something new. And earlier that year, Mike had gifted me this from my Amazon wishlist. It's this bag here. And inside this bag were about 60 of these little bonbons here. Now, this isn't the nicest quality of yarn. In fact, it's quite... So I knew I didn't want to use them in anything that was going to be close to my skin. So I didn't want wearables, didn't want a blanket, anything like that. But one evening, I pulled one out of that bag and I started playing around with it. And I thought these are quite nice little bonbons to make squares out of. So that is what I decided to do. So these are from Mira Handcrafts. There we go. They are 100% acrylic, a lightweight 3 or DK yarn. They are 10 grams, 22 yards or 20 meters, roughly. Made in China. You can wash up to 30 degrees Celsius. Do not tumble, do not iron, do not bleach. Dry clean using P. They recommend 3.75 to 4.5 millimeter needles and a 4.5 to a 5.5 millimeter hook. So I grabbed my 5.5 millimeter dots. And like I said, I grabbed one of those bonbons. And I started playing around. Now, the original square that I decided on was, and this is US terminology, even though I'm from the UK, US terminology makes way more sense to me. I can use both, but I prefer US. So I decided on 4 rounds of traditional granny square using the double crochet clusters. I then did a 5th round of half double crochet clusters. And then I was doing a final round of a single crochet in every stitch and then stitch chain 2 stitch in the corners. And with my granny squares, I do not chain between clusters and I do turn after every round. But very quickly when I was doing this segment, I was playing yarn chicken way too often than I thought was fun. So I scrapped the single crochet round in the bonbon colour and I went digging in my stash and I found this Beautimus stuff that I had been gifted in Happy Mail. Now since then, because I had said that I had fallen in love with this yarn a lot, a couple more of you lovelies watching gifted me with some more of this. Now this is I Love This Yarn print from Hobby Lobby. It is absolute gorgeousness. It is made in Turkey in the colourway Candy Stick Stash. It is 5 ounces or 142 grams, 252 yards or 230 metres, 100% acrylic. It is a medium 4 worsted weight yarn. This one you can wash up to 40 degrees Celsius. You can tumble, but do not iron, do not bleach. Dry clean using A. Recommends 5mm needles, 5.5mm hook. So what I do is I come on here and I make the squares on camera. And then when I have made the squares, I then fasten off and weave in the ends. And I put the single crochet round of this off camera. Just so that these videos aren't too terribly long. So we know how Max we we'd found out where the bonbons came from. That was Mike. Now, how does Max come in? Well, Max comes in because he is the one that chooses what bonbons I turn into squares every week. He can pick whatever colours he wants. He has complete free reign, and he can pick either 1, 2, or 3 bonbons each time. He does it when I am not in the room. He does it when I do not see, because I like revealing how many and what colours at the same time that you guys see them. It's like a surprise reveal. A few of my podcaster friends incorporate their family in their makes from time to time, and I really love that idea. So this is my version of doing that. So we now know Max's choice. But the gut bit is what confuses quite a few people. Now, this is Gutt, or this is my version of Gutt. It's a black metal bin, okay? When I was a child, we had a silver metal bin that lived in our dining room, and it had all of our winter hats, gloves, and scarves in, and it was stuffed. So it just lovingly got the nickname Gutt because you stuff your gut when you go out for dinner. So we had Gutt the bin as a child, and a few Christmases ago, my mum gifted me with my very own Gutt, and I wanted to incorporate him on the channel. So Max's choice goes into Gutt, but also it's Max's gut choice because his choice is put in Gutt. So that is the story behind this segment, and it always takes me so long to explain, but that is where we're at. So in a minute, I am gonna lift the lid on Gutt. I'm gonna reveal how many and what colors are in there, and then we're gonna sit and crochet and chat for a while until the squares are made. But first of all, I need to prove to you that I did put the candy stick stash round on last week's. So last week we had a lilac. So I have indeed finished them off and put that rainbowy border on the edge. And we had a brown as well. So I did do my homework. I am up to date, and we are all ready to go for this week. Now, you might be saying, well, what are you going to do with these squares? Well, I have made one, and I do plan to make more. Another of my lovely, gorgeous YouTube friends was using her squares to cover some Hessian tote bags that she was going to gift to people. And I really fell in love with that idea. So I took some of my squares, I joined them together, and I joined them with this yarn as well. And then I glued them onto the front of a Hessian bag. Now, obviously, when this segment is over, I will show that bag again. And like I said, I do intend on covering some more bags so that all the squares do get used and they don't just gather dust in a bag forevermore. And we don't have very many of these bonbons left. So I am predicting that very, very soon this segment will be done. I think we've only got a week or two left at best. But who knows? Max might have other ideas up his sleeve. We will have to wait and see. So it is now time to see what he has put in here this week. So episode 25 of Max's Gut Choice will be 2. Woohoo! We have a purple and a grey. So there we go, guys. So if you haven't done so already, go and get yourself a drink, go and get a project to work on, and we will just spend some time together, however much time it takes for me to get these squares made on camera with you. So, as I always say at the start of my chatting, there are several people joining in with this. It was never meant to be a make along, a crochet along, anything like that. But then neither was Tile of the Week, and that turned into a crochet along. But yes, there are a couple of you lovelies who are making squares as well. Some of you are trying to do as close to the colours as Max picked as possible. Some of you are just picking whatever scrap yarns you've got and making however many squares that are made that week. And either way is absolutely wonderful. Like I said, I never envisaged that it would turn into a crochet along, and it kind of sort of did. Last week on my community tab, I posted a picture of Kimberly's completed blanket because she is done with her squares and it is absolutely gorgeous. She gifted it to a neighbour, which is wonderful. Yeah, so thanks to those guys that are doing this with me. It's wonderful. So there we go. So I did mention in one of my earlier videos this week that I am not feeling 100% while I'm filming this. Obviously, you are going to be seeing this on Thursday, and hopefully that will mean that by Thursday I am feeling much, much better. I batch film the week's content the Saturday before. So this is Saturday, the 11th of January, 2024 in my time. And I have done this week's videos, apart from one of them I did film earlier. So yeah, I am feeling rather ropey, so I do apologise if I seem a little off, if I appear a little more, but you're not here to look at my face, you're here to listen to and get involved with what the video is about, so that's absolutely fine. Mike has just been getting over a really quite nasty viral something or other. It really did kick him in the teeth, to be honest, but he's a stubborn fool and just powered through it and carried on as normal. And he doesn't get ill very often. It's very rare that Mike will get ill. So the fact that this one did get a grip on him is worrying me slightly, because if I have now picked it up, I am going to be even worse than what he was, and that concerns me slightly. But hopefully mine is just absolute exhaustion from my first full week back at work. Now again, obviously when you're watching this, I will have had a second week at work, but that hasn't happened for me yet in my time. But yeah, let me tell you about my first week back. So the Monday was what we in the UK call an inset day or a teacher training day, which means that the school is open for staff, but it's not open for the pupils. And it's where training happens. Most of the training that was done on the Monday was really irrelevant to me. But I did have to go in, I did have to sit through it. Not gonna lie, it was a very long day, because when it's information that isn't pertinent to you, when it's training that isn't relevant to your role, it's a bit like, well, I don't really understand what you're talking about and I have no clue what's going on and I could be doing much more productive things. But it was fine. I sat through it. But yeah, it was a long first day back, let me tell you. It was lovely to see everyone again, though. Most of my colleagues had a wonderful Christmas, which was lovely to hear. It was good to see them all. So yeah, that was the Monday. Then the Tuesday, the children pupils were back. It was a really good first day back, actually. Normally, when there's been a bit of a break, they really struggle to kind of get back into the zone of coming back to school and getting into that routine. Like, it really dysregulates a lot of them. But actually, it was one of the most successful first day back that has happened, because, you know, even the staff that have been there longer than me said that was the best first day back any of the pupils have ever had. So, you know, if I had noticed it, they had definitely noticed it. They did really, really well. It was lovely to see all of the pupils again, catching up on what they'd been up to in the break. So yeah, Tuesday went by quite quickly, you know, getting back into the, you know, the flow of things and catching up with all the kids. It was really quite lovely. And then a curveball was thrown from absolutely nowhere. We had amber weather warnings for really bad snow and ice and like really terrible weather conditions. So, you know, we all made our way in on Wednesday morning, only to contact the families of the pupils to tell them that we would be shutting the school to the students on that day. Um, Literally just gathered a few bits and pieces, gave all the messages that I had to, um, was given a few things to do to be able to work from home, grabbed my Chromebook that they have supplied me, and I was home again by 10:30 in the morning, and I was doing my work but at home, and it was actually rather quite lovely. We did have some training over Zoom later in the afternoon, but for the most part, I was just catching up on emails. I was doing the tasks that I had been given to do while I was at home. I got a bit of my online training from my induction done. I was really, really productive. I got an awful lot done on that day. Um, and by the end of the day, we weren't sure whether the school would be opening the next day or not, so we had to just kind of keep eyes on emails and stuff. But in the end, we did manage to go back and open the school as normal on Thursday, so the kids came back again. That one wasn't quite such a smooth day because they weren't in on the Monday. They had their first day back on the Tuesday, and then they should have been in the rest of the week. For an unexpected day off after only being back a day, it threw quite a few of them. And with some of the additional needs and things that some of the students have, they really don't cope well with sudden changes to routine, unexpected things cropping up. So it did kind of um, throw them a little bit, and Thursday was a little tricky, not gonna lie. Thursday was a hard day, but harder for them, obviously. And then Friday was work as normal as well. But going back to the Thursday, I did have to finish work a little earlier than normal because I mentioned that Liam hasn't been very well recently and that he needed tests. So the Thursday, he did have blood tests and he did have his blood pressure checked because he had been asked to bring home a blood pressure monitor and do our own readings for the week leading up to that Thursday appointment. And his blood pressure is so sky high, it's actually quite concerning. He is only 14. I have been contacted. I was contacted on Friday, so yesterday in my world, but last Friday for you, to book in to speak with a doctor about his blood pressure because it is high. So, but that appointment couldn't be made until the 30th of January. So we've got to wait a little bit until we get to do that appointment. And by the time of filming, we haven't received his blood test results yet. So no further information on those for a minute, guys. But obviously I will keep you up to date as and when those things kind of change. So yeah, we're still just waiting for results and appointments, really. There's not really much more of an update on that, to be fair. But yeah, it was quite a struggle getting back into the work routine, and to have that extra curveball of the Wednesday off and having to work from home through me. And as far as I'm aware, I don't have any diagnosed neurodivergence, and it threw me off. So heaven knows what it did to those lovely kiddos. Yeah, a bizarre week. 2, 3, 4 on the half double crochet row, which is awesome. Yeah, so really, really bizarre. And I have always been a night owl. I will always be a night owl. It's just how my body functions. I can try and force myself to have an early night, guys, and it just doesn't work. So yeah, over the 2 week break, obviously I could go to bed late, you know, as late as I wanted and get up at whatever time because I didn't need to set an alarm. To then suddenly thinking, oh, I do have an alarm tomorrow, and oh my gosh, was it a killer that first morning. Wow, it kind of hit me right between the eyes, I can tell you. And then it's just got more and more exhausted as the week went on. It has been a very big shock to the system for the first week back. I'm sure as the weeks progress, I will get more used to it again, and it won't be so tiring. But yeah, I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to stuff like that. But I am totally and utterly exhausted. But yeah, I was saying that Mike has had this horrible virusy thing. Max is now coughing and feeling really crummy. um, he very rarely gets headaches, and he's been plagued by a headache today. Again, filming on the Saturday, my time. I woke up as if I had been out partying all night. I felt like I had a hangover, which I wouldn't mind if I had actually been to a party and had the pleasure of drinking. But I just had what felt like was a hangover, even though I didn't get the drink or the party to go to. I have been dealing with a very fuzzy, woolly head all day. I've been battling a headache myself. My eyelids feel swollen and heavy. I'm feeling a little bit like something's going to crop up on my chest, but it hasn't yet. Um, Absolutely exhausted. I basically felt like I had been run over by a bus or hit by a train this morning when I woke up. So all of the videos, apart from the Knitting Network video that I filmed for this week, you are going to see me not at my best, and I do apologise, but I am powering through. All I want to do is curl up and go to bed. I am absolutely exhausted, but I was like, no, I am powering through. I am getting my content done. I can't let the peeps down. I've got a schedule to stick to. And I also took us all out for lunch just to get out in the fresh air, get out of these four walls, and for us to have a treat all together. So I have tried to get something out of my Saturday, but I am absolutely wiped out, exhausted. I don't know how my eyes are still open, but they are. And I'm going to get these squares done and these videos completed for you, because it's not your fault that I'm feeling poorly. And hopefully it isn't the nasty virus that Mike had. Hopefully it's just the fact that I am really tired and a little under the weather, burnt out maybe. There's the purple guys, all done and dusted. I will snip off and weave in ends off camera and put that lovely candy stick on off camera as well. So on to the grey. Oh, and I've just thrown it. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's get this one done. So, how has your week been? Is January being kind to you guys, or is it being a bit of a butthead? I didn't know what I could say in that moment. So far, my January's been okay. Like I mentioned last week, my divorce came through on the 3rd, which was a bit of a still haven't dealt with that. I've buried that. I'm not ready to process that. That's for another time. Got too much going on right now. What else has happened? I still haven't had news about my PO box. Obviously, if a letter comes in the post this week before this video airs, I will obviously put the PO box details in the video descriptions. So do keep an eye on the video descriptions if you are one of those waiting for that information, because I know a couple of you are. So yeah, if I get the letter that I was hoping to have got last week, I will let you know as soon as I do. But as it stands, as of the 11th, I hadn't heard nothing, so I still don't have my PO box up and running, so I do apologize about that, guys. if I haven't heard by the time you are actually watching this, then I will be chasing it up, because it said about 7 days. So come on, post office, sort it out. And it's a lot of money that I've paid out for that, so I kind of need it being used, please and thank you. But yeah, as of yet, I haven't heard anything more. So yeah, with the school shutting for the weather, to be honest, the school wasn't really hit with the bad weather, but it is right on the edge of the moors. And a lot of our pupils don't live locally. They actually travel from quite a way away in like every direction. So it was to keep staff and pupils safe if they did have to travel. So, I love the fact that they were putting staff and pupil safety first. Don't make any unnecessary trips, as they say. So that was a really good thing that they did. It has been super cold. We have had snaps of ice, but we never got any snow where I actually live or at the school. But plenty of areas in the surrounding area did get a good snow dump and more ice than what we did. So I am thankful that it didn't affect me more directly, because I'm not good in snow and ice. Thankfully, those areas that did get a good dumping of snow and stuff, they were all right. It's now mostly gone, and hopefully that'll be it. But who knows? It is only January, the coldest month of the year for us down here. So it could happen again. Who knows? But thankfully we weren't too badly affected. But it has been very cold. Some of you that live in like really, really cold places, you're going to be like, oh, Manfa, you don't even know what proper cold is. And you're right. And I don't want to know what proper cold is. I don't even like my level of cold. Thank you very much. But yeah, we have had a morning or two of starting to get into the minuses. So yeah, that's what the weather's been up to. You can definitely tell we are in the smack bang middle of winter. And that's okay. We need to go through every season to get to the next. So even though I don't like it, I am, going to put on my belt and braces and just crack on like I have to. So with regards to work as well, a couple of you have asked whether I'm in my new role yet. And at the time of filming on Saturday the 11th, no, I haven't been. Actually, the day you are watching this will be the day that we are holding interviews for my old role. So hopefully there have been some really good candidates for that. And they have actually found someone to fill that role, because when that role has been filled, I mean, obviously they're not going to be able to start right there and then. There will be a bit of a delay to make sure like all the background paperwork and checks and stuff have been done, but it will mean that we are well on the way to getting that position filled. So that will be a really good step forward if that happens. We've just got to hope that there are some really good candidates for that. So those interviews will be happening the day of you watching this. And then the week coming, I have a couple of days of training. One that is generic training for every member of staff. It's not specific to my new role. But one day where it is specific training. And I do actually have to travel quite a way to attend that. It's up in Somerset. It can be between 2 and 3 hours drive away. And I'm only going up there for the day for that one. And then the week after that, I have someone coming to me to spend the day with me to give me more face-to-face hands-on training for the new role. So hopefully by the end of January, beginning of February, I will start dipping my toes into my new role. Um, and then I think I will fully be in my role definitely by the end of February. So yeah, it's still going to take a little minute, but that's okay because I can't give my full attention to the new role until somebody is doing my current role, right? So they need to be found and they need to be trained, and then when they're confident and they're trained, I can then move to what I need to do. So it will take a little while, but it will definitely be worth it, and it will be better to do it in the more longer route of doing it, because it will be done properly and it will be more effective. If I was to try and do both roles simultaneously, I don't know how well that would go. But they might start giving me small bits and pieces of the new role alongside my current role, just to kind of dip my toe in and, take a couple of the things off of the person who is covering my role at the minute, because they don't even work within our school. They're doing it remotely from somewhere else. So even if I can just take a couple of their tasks and jobs from them alongside being the receptionist, and build it up slowly like that, that might be another good way to do it. Um, kind of drip feed it so that it does stick and it does maintain and stuff. I don't know. We're just going to take it one day at a time. And if I am able to do what is asked of me in either role, then I will just crack on and do it. Um, but yeah, so no, I am not fully in my new role, and I won't be probably until February. But I will keep you updated if that changes. Um, and I'm not frustrated or I'm not upset by that. I actually think it's the most sensible way of doing it. I'm perfectly fine and happy with it because I know the new role is there and I know that I will be doing it. Doesn't matter if I'm doing it in the next hour or the next month, as long as I finally get there, right? So, yes. Oh my goodness, I've just realised that I didn't do the fire safety checks on Friday before I left. Oopsie, better do that Monday. Oh, goodness gracious. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Oh, wow. It's not a massively huge deal. We just test the fire smoke alarms every week. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yes, that is, I think, all of the updates that I have to give you all. So yeah, like I was saying, let me know. Is January being kind to you? Are you finding it a struggle, or, are you making good progress on your goals or your resolutions? I don't do resolutions, guys. I really don't. It's just setting me up to fail. I am more goal orientated. I don't have like real super specifics. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have more wide ranging goals and things. So that is the way that I do that. Gave up on resolutions many years ago now. But if you do them, how are you doing with yours? Have you managed to get any finishes for the year yet? In your crochet or your crafty makes? How are you diddling? How's your health? How's your family? Whatever you want to put in your comment, let's just have a little chat. And of course, going on about my kind of not bad weather. I obviously appreciate that there are a lot of you right now who are dealing with proper snow and proper ice and proper bad weather conditions. And I hope that you are all staying safe and staying warm, because, like I said, it's like my idea of a nightmare. I hope you've got enough to eat. I hope you've got enough heating. I hope you are doing okay. I would hate to think of anybody struggling. But as always, my inbox is always open should you need a friendly ear or shoulder. And it doesn't ever get passed on to anyone because it's not my story to tell. But yeah, I hope you're coping. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you haven't lost power or anything like that, because that's just awful. Yeah, I just hope you're all doing good. I hope that January's being kind to you. I hope you're getting a good start to a brand new, shiny, fresh year. Yeah, don't really know what else to say, guys, to be honest with you. I've nearly finished this one anyway. But I really will miss this in a way, because like I keep saying, it's like a structured crochet and chat video, and I haven't done them for a while, so this has been a nice alternative to that. It really has. I love sitting and chatting with you all. But like I said, I am all but done on this one. Just one more cluster and a chain 2. And that, as they say, folks, is that. There we go. 2 squares made in real time on camera, as is always the case with Max's Gut Choice. So 1 grey, 1 purple. I will sort those off camera, get them bordered and finished, and when we come back next week I will show you that I did indeed do that. So I hope you enjoyed this Max's Gut Choice episode. I know I did. Is there anything coming at all? Do you know what? I'll get my pen in a minute. Yes, there will be a members only video again tomorrow to finish up what I started last week, and the members will know exactly what I'm talking about with that. So members, if you joined in with last week, come back tomorrow to see if you were successful or not. And I know that's cryptic to the rest of you, but that's okay. Yeah, so apart from the members video tomorrow, that will be it now until Monday, where we are going to do a book look. So I hope you do join me for that on Monday. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful weekend ahead. I'm not too sure what my weekend entails, but I'll fill you in next week. So yeah, thank you for crocheting with me. Thank you for chatting with me, visiting with me, however you like to word it. I'm going to get off here, put the borders on those squares before I take it up and put it away, and I'll know that that job is done. And I am just going to get in my pajamas and crochet for the evening. That's if I don't just fall asleep for the night. We shall see, and I hope I'm feeling better by the time you're watching this. Otherwise, it's going to have been a long week at work again, right? Anyway, guys, I will be back very, very soon. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Bye, guys. Love you loads.